So after about 2 months, I turned these guys into drug addicts and alcoholics, and we lost the deal, and we were kicked out of the house.
Facts are tracks. We're gonna break some vinyl down from the front to the back with facts on tracks.
Showtime. Welcome to Breaking Vinyl. I'm your host, Des, a.k.a.
Johnny
Fever. And as always, I'm joined by my three ruthless co-hosts. First up, the podcaster coming through in high fidelity,
Evil Ed.
What's up, boys?
All right, and the podcaster playing the deep cuts,
Dangerous Dave.
What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up with you?
And last but not least, the podcaster that hates Los Angeles, California, but lives in Las Vegas. Rock and roll. The man, the myth, the legend, the haircut.
Beakenstein.
Hey.
Okay. Today, as always, the mission of this show is for us to introduce each other and you, the listeners, to albums and bands which you may never have heard before, while also discussing the classics. And on occasion, we will ruthlessly insult each other's musical taste. So sit back and enjoy the show. Tonight, we will be discussing Under Lock and Key, the third studio album by Dokken, produced by Neil Kernan and Michael Wagner, released on November 22nd of 1985 by Warner Electric Records. I have a. Is this all right? Does this sound right to you guys?
You're butchering names, but yes.
Okay,
Close enough.
I didn't know Warner and Elektra were combined. Yeah.
I'm talking about Michael Wagner.
Oh, I know. I butchered the two names. I'm asking about the label. Is Warner and Elektra they were together at some point, or I don't
Probably.
know. I don't get that. Okay. Well, we're off to a smooth start. The album peaked at the number 32 spot on the Billboard 200. The band's lineup was as follows: Don Dokken on lead vocals, George Lynch on guitar, Jeff Pilson bass and background vocals, and the simple-minded Mick Brown on drums. Oh boy, not a lot going on in these drums, boys. Whew. Okay, let's do some quick band facts on this one. So, Under Lock and Key was certified gold on March 4th of 1986 and then went platinum April 14th of 1987. So this band, this album got some traction, got some play. Dave, what do you got? You got anything good?
Yeah, a couple things. Photographer Mark Weiss was the art director, assuming he also shot the photo of the cover. In an interview, he mentioned they referred to their clothes in the photo as waiter outfits.
Hang on, you know what how I would describe them? Gay. Keep going.
Yeah, they were dressed like waiters in a restaurant, according to them. So the rest, I couldn't find a lot on this album. The rest I could find was pretty much all guitar nerd shit. So here we go. Buckle in. If you don't want to hear about guitar nerd shit, just fast forward about 2 minutes or so.
I'm dying to hear it.
So yeah, according to co-producer Michael Wagner, they had recorded the guitars with 2 Marshall amps and 2 Laney amps going together. 2 of the amps were in one room, 1 Marshall was in another room, and 1 of the amps was in yet another room. There were 14 mics set up on those amps to get the guitar tone. They ran it through an EQ, a studio EQ, and then for some reason, they ran it through George Lynch's Fostex 4-track recorder, which was, a little thing that you'd use to record demos at home. And apparently that was like the secret sauce to get his guitar tone. They just slam it in there and overdrive it, and they'd hide it under a blanket so nobody could see that that's what was going on.
Oh my God, Jesus!
So yeah,
Plenty of
and
effect.
sure, yeah. And in a 2021 interview, guitarist George Lynch says a Rockman X100 unit was a pretty big part of his rhythm guitar sound on the album. The Rockman, if you don't know, is a small headphone amp from the 80s that some pros would occasionally use for recording direct in the studio. It was invented by Tom Schultz of the band Boston. It's about the size of a hardcover book. After recording the regular amps, the producer suggested a direct track as an additional spice. According to George, it magically glued it all together and made it sound so cohesive and fat sounding. On its own, it sounded like shit, but in the mix, it filled in all the frequencies that the big amps were missing.
Interesting.
And one last one. Legend has it, George Lynch was so impressed with a certain specially modified Marshall amp from SIR Studios in Hollywood that he rented it for the first leg of this album's tour. When it was returned to the SIR rental company, the same amp was used by Slash to record Guns N' Roses' legendary Appetite for Destruction. It's a magical amp, apparently.
Wow, I'd like to get my hands on that amp.
Yeah, nobody knows where it is now.
Holy shit. I hope Steven Adler has it. That would make me feel good. If he had it, he's just like, fuck you. I hope he uses it for like a fucking, I don't know, like an ashtray or something. Ed, what do you got? Do you got anything on this?
I got a couple small things, but I want to bounce off Dave's amp discussion with having all those mics and all that work. It's crazy when you think the budgets to record an album back then, the amount of time it would take to get a sound in. People were okay with spending that money. It's like nowadays, it's real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But yeah, like Dave said, there's not a lot of facts about this album, but a fact about the band: Juan Crosier was the original bass player before moving over to Rat. And it's kind of funny if you watch or at least like research some of the bands and how they wound up being with the members they're with. They've all were, everyone basically played with everyone at some point before the right combination happened that they made it big. And it's really interesting to research. And this is just a small example here where Juan moved to Rat, then Jeff Pilson came in, and lo and behold, boom. But Under Lock and Key is considered by some as Dokken's most complete album, while others think it's too much of the Def Leppard formula of big open rock style, and it turned off people, especially after their previous album, which had a little more gusto to it.
It's funny. I actually watched a video on YouTube with the guy that produced this album. He produced everybody back then. Dave, do you know his name? I can't remember his name.
What, Michael Wagner?
Yes, Michael Wagner. Exactly.
Yeah, White Lion, Skid Row.
Yep. Everybody. At Rat,
Yeah.
right? Didn't he do some Rat too? I don't know.
Probably, I don't know.
In any case, he just talks about what a dick fucking George Lynch was to work with. And, he'd give him just suggestions. And he'd be saying nice stuff like, oh, man, you should try and play a solo like you played on like this other track. And, he'd be like, just shut the fuck up and push record, dick, Like, yeah, I guess it was one of these situations. Pete, what do you got?
So yeah, to continue off with what Ed was saying, and I was surprised by that too, with Juan being in the band. Rat's my favorite 80s rock band for sure. And but I guess Bobby Blotzer was also in the band for a period before before they started, before Dokken became Dokken too. So, and I think they all played at least one or two of the tracks on the first release, from Dokken too. So I thought that was pretty cool. Another cool thing that I liked is how rare is it and how awesome is it at the same time that every track was written by Dokken, all 4 guys. You know what I mean? And all of these other albums are one guy, 2 guys, like one big main fucking ego in the band. Not here, man. I don't know. I thought that was pretty neat. And then I would have loved to have had this video cassette release in the 80s where they had all their videos, the Unchained the Night VCR release. Man, Into the Fire, Just Got Lucky, you know, Breaking the Chains, Alone Again, The Hunter, In My Dreams, and It's Not Love. Like, what a fucking, like, Dokken Greatest Hits video cassette release back in 1986 or whatever, you know, so.
You know
good
what's
stuff.
weird is fucking, so Mick Brown and fucking Jeff Pilson look almost exactly like Juan Crocier and Bobby Blotzer. Like,
Right?
they are like spitting images of each other. Like, the 2 drummers have the same hairdo. They're both kind of like lumpy looking white dudes with like blonde, giant frizzy hair. And then the 2 bass players, these like little skinny dudes with like red curly hair. It's like, it's so funny how close they were visually. Unfortunately, I have to give the plain nod heavily to fucking Bobby Blotzer and and Juan Crocier.
I
These
disagree
2,
with Juan.
I think Juan Crocier's better than fucking Jeff Pilson. I remember Jeff being a lot better. I remember Mick Brown. We'll get into it. But there's a reason this isn't going to get into the 90s for me to tip my hat. It's not, but there's a reason why. All right, this week, let's head over to the mailbag. It's been a while, but we actually got some fucking mail. So, Fee, take it away.
Yeah, unusual, especially like multiple, multiple folks writing in, which is cool. And they both center around Dez a little bit, and I kind of like this. Makes me laugh. So this guy Jay writes in, "Hey, love the show. I met Dez at a house party back around 1990. My buddy and I were putting a band together and mentioned that we were looking for a guitarist when Dez loudly proclaims, 'Dude, I got Tracy Guns licked.' True story." So,
Okay.
Dez, tell us a little bit more about this, please.
So, first of all, it's funny. I didn't know that this guy actually listened to the show. I don't know if you guys know who this is. This is Jay. I'm not going to say his last name. I don't know if he wants it out there, whatever. But he fronted a band in Boston back in the early 90s. That was really, like, these guys were really good. I mean, they were a rival band with one of my bands at the time. But honestly, I felt like these guys were a little better musicians at the time. So the band was called Flash Addict, and they ended up getting another guitar player. This guy's name was Alan, and he's super underrated in Boston. The guy, like, he played fucking great. He played cool BC Rich Mockingbird guitars. He had the Nicky Six haircut. He had the tattoos, the leather pants, the guy was just fucking cool as shit. And yeah, and Jay was, and still is, a very cool dude. I never really got to know Jay personally too much because we were rivals, and I would see him around at parties and at shows and stuff. But yeah, he was fucking super cool, man. Like kind of like a more Boston badass version of like a Sebastian Bach. Like, the guy was a screamer. He had the moves. The band was cool. And if you're interested in checking them out, you can go over to YouTube. They have a video called Into the Smoke. And you can listen to their whole album, but Into the Smoke is the video that I found anyway. And yeah, it's cool, man. It's fucking Boston rock and roll from back in the early 90s. I mean, check it out.
Nice.
What else do you got?
Yeah, so we have one more from our buddy Seamus, our old faithful here. I love it when Seamus writes in.
Seamus!
Just talks about Dez, talking shit about the ZZ Top album, referring to him as Dr. Gaines was really harsh on the ZZ Top album, which is fucking hilarious.
That album
Great
needed more
comments.
gain. That album needed more gain. I stick to my guns.
You
When we
must
flip,
have said that statement 100 times.
Every song, yeah.
Yes.
oh shit, it needed more gain. When we flip the album over, I am going to circle back to the mailbag because I actually have a funny little story that pertains to Jay. So there you go. Just to give you an idea of what kind of a rocker he was back in the day. So, okay. That will take care of the mailbag. Let's do some quick opening thoughts on this one. I will get us started. So Dokken was definitely in the first wave of bands that would pioneer what would become MTV hair metal. I mean, I think Dokken started, there's a video you can watch. I can't remember what song it is, but it's like live video of them like in a club. Don Dokken is playing guitar, Les Paul, and I mean Lynch is also playing, but Don Dokken's playing like lead guitar, which is crazy. And that was like 1980. Like, so these guys were just coming out of the 70s into the 80s. They're some of the first to do it, like in that traditional hair metal style with the sound, which I thought is really cool. I definitely grew up on this album. I remember every song having a catchy hook and being a hit on this album. But the question is, did they all have hits and were they all hit songs? I don't know. Let's find out. Dave, were you familiar with the album before preparing for the podcast?
Yes, I have heard it before. This one was another Jersey Shore special that I won at the boardwalk as a kid.
Nice.
Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Holy shit.
Best
Fucking-
boardwalk ever.
Yeah, that's right.
What's the record? What's the record store? Come on, do it.
Oh no, it was like the stand. Like you put a quarter down on the wheel, on number 6, and the wheel will go around. If it hit number 6, you would win a record.
Oh no, I get it, but I just want you
didn't
to
get
plug
this one
that.
at Vintage Vinyl?
Yeah, I just
No.
want you to plug Vintage Vinyl again.
Oh yeah, Vintage Vinyl, Fords, New Jersey. No
Okay.
longer there.
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
love it.
this may have been the first cassette I ever picked out on my own after having vinyl records before that. Must have been around the time it came out, probably summer of '86. I was hooked in by the songs they had on MTV. I remember the big songs, but not the album tracks. It's been a long time since I listened to this one all the way through. We'll see if it holds up.
Dude, I'm surprised you got the album, even though they were all dressed like the Golden Girls. Ed, how about you?
What are you kidding me? Those outfits were awesome back then.
Shit, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, really, if you were listening to this style of music, you knew who Dokken were. Especially this album. It was, back then it was just everyone knew this album. George Lynch. I feel like this is when everyone that I hung out with discovered George Lynch's ability to play guitar, because he just tore it up. But yeah, it's funny because I remember it so differently hearing it now, and it's not necessarily in a bad way, just a different way. Because like things that I thought I heard, I totally didn't hear, and I'm like, wow, that's weird. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it was, dude, I couldn't believe it. When I put this on, I was able to sing every single word to every single song.
Yep.
Like I was listening to it in rotation yesterday.
Yeah.
V, were you familiar with the album in its entirety before preparing?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
No, and I love Dokken, and just the reason I got into it, and Ed, I'll share a little bit more with you about this on our trip, is my neighbor 2 houses down I hung out with around high school time. His older brother would sit in his bedroom, smoke joints all day, and crank Dokken. That's what this guy did, and that's how I first heard Dokken. I was like, holy shit, good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember this how I thought I was going to remember this album, for sure. I'm with you on that one, Ed.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do away with the Fast Five for a little while. We're going to let it just sit over on the side. And when I feel excited for doing it again, we'll do it again. But we're going to go out with the Fast Five with just a fast one. I'm just going to ask you guys a question. Just answer honestly. Dave, have you ever eaten a Stouffer's French bread pizza and not burnt the top of your mouth?
Yes.
Oh, come on. That's a lie. Ed, have you ever eaten a Stouffer's French bread pizza and not burnt the roof of your mouth?
No.
And
I've
V,
always
how about
burnt the
you?
roof of my mouth.
I don't think it's possible to not burn the roof of your mouth.
And that's how I know Dave is lying. You could let that Stouffer's French bread pizza sit on the counter for 2 days, and it's still hot enough, like deep in the middle of that 4-inch pizza, to burn the top of your mouth.
You got to let it cool off for like a half an hour.
At least. And it takes like 2 hours and 15 minutes for it to cook properly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That is it. Let's get into our track breakdown for this album. First track on the album is Unchain the Night. So I love this track. And you know what's funny about this? So this whole album, as you guys know, this album's a little safe for me lyrically, but it's fine because it's just so melodic and catchy. It's fine. I don't even hold it hostage for that. So I love the track. It has a tone of like really cool guitar licks and riffs. And George Lynch's solos, as fast as they are, and as much whammy bar as he puts on these things, and you guys know I fucking hate that. And it's over processed and over effective, and I hate that too. But not when George Lynch does it, because I can hear two notes of a George Lynch solo, and I'm like, oh, it's George Lynch. I can hear one fucking chord of his guitar, and I'm like, it's George Lynch. So he's got his own fucking sound, and I like it for him a lot. Drums, ultra simple, too simple, so simple that it sucks all the dynamics out of this album, and it's a shame. Like if you put this guy on the Rat album, it drops it down 10 fucking watts, because you just can't get the dynamics with this guy, because it's just fucking straight fucking beats and these ultra standard fucking tom rolls that just are mind-numbingly simple. It's crazy. The bass is fine. It's so straightforward, and it's buried in the mix a bit. I wish it was out front more. I get it. It's George Lynch show. This album's built on the guitars, but whatever. As for Don Dokken, total professional. It's the only way I could ever describe this guy. He's a pro. I mean, he fucking brings solid melody to his vocals. Like, it's good. It's just catchy. The lyrics are super catchy. It's easy to understand every word he's saying. I love the track, and I remembered every single word. Dave, what do you got?
Okay, here we go. It doesn't get much more 80s than this.
No.
We got some clean guitar and synth up top. I'm guessing that's the synclavier mentioned in the credits. By the way, the opening of Beat It by Michael Jackson, that's also a synclavier.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fact.
The sound is right on the demo disc that I was checking out on YouTube. Nice. About 30 seconds in, they get to rocking with a kick-ass signature Dokken sound. The guitar introduces the vocal with a sweet whammy bar dive. Lot of guitar layers here. Good chorus, another sweet guitar lick before the second verse. I'm not sure what these lyrics mean. Killer guitar solo. George Lynch has claimed that him and the band do not have a sound, but I think he's wrong. Both him and the band, as you were saying, do kind of have a signature sound. The outro guitar solo is a little on the mellow side. The music for this song was originally another song entitled Under Lock and Key, which was going to be the title track with a different vocal. But the band decided they didn't like it. They rewrote the lyrics and the melody, and it became this song. It's a good opener.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus, if this band isn't the easiest band to pick out of the 80s for their signature sound, how dare they say they don't have a signature sound?
Right?
Talk about the sound.
And how dare George Lynch think he doesn't? I mean, as soon as Lynch Mob, I didn't even know Lynch Mob was a thing. And all of a sudden I heard the first single come out, and I go, oh, Dokken got a new song. And then the singer came in, and I go, oh, no, this guy can sing.
Yeah.
Unchain the Night. It's a really good opening sequence to the song. I like the guitar riff with the keyboard bell. I also enjoy how the kick comes in a big guitar chord that just blends everything together. You know, it was really orchestrated well, I feel. But the song is a very 80s and a very George Lynch guitar riff. The whole album is, in my opinion. I've never been a fan of Don Dokken's vocals. I don't think they're bad. I'm just not a fan of his singing. The song builds nicely to the big hook chorus. And really, I love the little accents when they repeat the chorus, and especially at the end, you hear all these little breaks and accents. And I think things like that are what separates great bands from everyday bands. The guitar solo is a monster, of course. I feel it fits a song really well, which I want to give George Lynch total credit on for doing shredding solos here and there. Well, mostly. I feel that they fit the song without trampling all over it. And honestly, Jeff Pilson's bass lines and backing vocals he's always the unsung hero in this band. He's a great journeyman player, and he's just. I wish his bass were a little more upfront. I think
Yeah.
people would appreciate his bass lines, but the more I listened to it, the more I kind of turned up the bass a little. His bass lines in all these songs completely underrated. So much movement, not the typical just ride the root note. Love it.
Dude, I agree. And as I go through this, I start saying, okay, I'm hearing more of them. I'm hearing more of them. So I push them up front in a couple of the songs, and it just got lost. And that's why I was just like, fuck, where's Jeff Pilson on this? I remembered it being
Mm-hmm.
a little better. And I want to also agree with you on Don Dokken. And this goes back to that Mick Mars thing that we were kind of talking about, how Mick Mars was like a 70s musician that was trying to compete in the new 80s genre. And he was trying to do things he wasn't comfortable doing. And I kind of feel like Don Dokken's the same way. I feel like he was more of like a soft rock singer from the 70s more than he was a metal screamer for the 80s.
Yeah.
And there's a couple spots in this album, specifically in Lightning Strikes Again, where he's just out of his element at the end of the song and he's lost his way and he can't hang, you know,
Yep.
but he's a pro. And I mean, he does have a smooth voice and it's vanilla and it's not my thing, but for Dokken, it's perfect because it is Dokken. Dave, talk about it.
Fee's turn next.
Cool.
Talk about it. I took half an,
Dave, you want to go again, man?
I took a ton of edibles today, and it hit a mescaline. Go.
Oh shit! So obviously, this is a playlist track. I love this. It's super fucking catchy. I can't believe like when I looked at this song at the end, I'm like, this is 5 minutes and 20 seconds long. I couldn't believe that for that long of a song. I never got bored with it, never got sick of it, felt it flowed really well. I don't know. I fucking love it. I thought it was great. And to go along with the George Lynch thing, and Ed, I know we've had this discussion before. I don't know if we're in agreement on it, but the thing I like about Rat the most is they have those shredding solos too, but they all fit the song, you know? And George Lynch nails it on, especially on this track here, but throughout the album, he nails it. He's fucking killer.
Yeah, Fee, but here's the thing. George Lynch is better than Robin Crosby as a lead guitar player, right? But he couldn't even carry Warren DeMartini's guitar through fucking Guitar Center. George Lynch, a one trick pony. You can hear that his solos get kind of a little like disjointed a little bit. Like he can't string them together as smoothly as Warren DeMartini. And there's a lot going on there with George Lynch. That's all I'm going to say. He's good, but he's not great.
I don't know. I love the sound. I don't know. It's so fucking good.
In my opinion, I just feel like with all the whammy banging and finger tapping and unusual amounts of effects, sometimes it gets a little confusing. Track number 2, The Hunter, kind of like my dialogue on this show. Again, super, 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 super basic drums, super basic, but firm. And it's funny because when we get to the bonus track, it made me realize just how fucking remedial these drums are. I'm like, holy shit. It was like, it went from listening to like a 3-year-old hit boxes to listening to a banging drummer. Again, great vocals, great lyrics. And I love this. So they did this a couple of times in this album where you get this weird backing vocal and it'll be like the hunter in the background, right? And I noticed it. And then I noticed it again, like on, I think it might be Lightning Strikes during the verse where it's got this low vocal, like in the back. So he's doing this shit all over the place. And I think it's pretty fucking cool. Song is super catchy, got a great chorus. And again, I remembered every single word. I love this tune again, as much as I can love Dokken. I love this tune. Dave, go ahead.
This was the first single from the album, released December 10th, 1985. The song peaked at number 25 on the mainstream rock chart in the United States, and it remained on the chart for 9 weeks.
Wow.
We go a little poppier here. Good guitar work where many other players would just play some basic chords. George Lynch adds some interesting notes and riffs to spice things up. The lyrics are fine and make more sense here. Pretty simple but effective. Cool guitar solo. And I also had a note about the whispered hunter backup vocal. That was fun. You know, did they steal that from Def Leppard? Maybe.
Oh shit. Yeah, fucking It's good. Fucking Ed, what do you got?
Sorry, I'm in a fight with an ant.
Nice. Who's winning?
The Hunter God. Oh boy, this song is so good. It comes with that little drum fill, and I'm like, oh, there he is. And it's just it for the drums. It's really just not what I remember. I could have swore the drums was so much more.
Yes. Could have swore.
Yeah. But then, that infectious guitar and bass groove kick in, and you're hooked on the song immediately. The vocals come in, and just then the music comes down, and it matches the energy from here on out with the song. And the song's just so good. Chorus is simple, but it's so good, and the wonderful background harmonies just fantastic. Another great solo that again fits the song, yet also shreds. And then we have that chorus out, and it closes out a great song.
Yeah. Dave, I just wanted to say too, it's funny because I was more impressed after just going back for a listen on this album. I was more impressed with George Lynch's rhythm playing than his lead playing. The lead was kind of what I had remembered, but
Right.
I mean, you guys both said it, Ed and Dave. There's so many different tracks going on in the background during his rhythms. It's like filled all the way up. I'm like, whoa, what was that? What was that? And I thought that was all really cool.
Yeah, I'm curious how many tracks he actually records
So
for
many.
each song. Because,
So many.
you can hear so many different things.
So many, but these drums, dude, like in some of these songs, I literally counted like 2 different beats. It was like there'd be one for like the verse, like do da do da do. Oh, maybe not even 2 kicks. How about do da, and then the fill would be like oh man, he never even mixed them up. It was like from high to low, low to high. Shit, feet, talk about it.
Oh, maybe he was told to be that way. Who knows? But
Oh God.
I obviously this is a fucking banger. I love this song. 10 out of 10 playlist. It's funny that my only note on this was you guys will probably think the whisper of Hunter is lame. I can hear Des now going, it's so fucking gay, whatever. But
it's fucking retarded.
Like,
I want
right?
to get them all in tonight. I'm getting it all in tonight.
And no, so I'm surprised that you guys didn't just crush that one part of the song. But and don't get me wrong, I like it. I think it fits in total hit track. I love this song.
Nice. All right, track number 3. You know what's funny? So I'm gonna give it away a little bit. 9 out of the 10 songs on this album all have hit potential. Like they're all written with hit potential. Big choruses. Number 3, In My Dreams. Number 3, we're going to be saying I love it again. Again, a song built on killer 80s hair metal guitar riffs. That's what this song is. And the guitar solo, killer. We get another killer chorus and another huge vocal. I love the track. It's 3 for 3 now. Love it. Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, this was the second single from the album, released February 25th, 1986. The song peaked at number 24 on the Hot Mainstream Rock Tracks chart and at number 77 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States. Big vocals to open the song. This is the one that hooked me in. One of the first songs that made my guitar teacher try to show me when I went for lessons as a beginner guitar player. Lyrics are, oh yeah. Yeah, lyrics are
Aim high, Dave. Aim high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got the basic rhythm guitar. Couldn't even think about the solo.
He's like, kid, you're still learning fucking Smoke on the Water. Chill out.
Oh yeah. I'd been playing guitar for 3 months. Lyrics are put together and cohesive. Guitar solo is flashy without being too much, and kind of at least the opening of the solo has a melody to it. Big dumb 80s drums, which is not always a bad thing. Impressive rock scream from Don Dokken in the fade out.
Yeah. I wasn't too impressed with any of his screams on this. I thought that's where his weak point was the screams. So question is, could your guitar teacher play the solo? Did he actually learn it and show you that he could play it, or
Oh no,
could he not? No, he couldn't play it.
probably not.
these fucking hack guitar teachers, these local guitar shops. They're like, kid, you're not ready for that. I'd be like, listen, next week for my fucking $25 guitar lesson, I just want to watch you play that solo. That's it. You don't even have to show it to me. If you can't, you're fucking fired. Ed, talk about it.
In my dreams, there's always been something that bothered me about the a cappella opening to this song. The way the voices sound, maybe it's an effect or a reverb or something, but it's always just irritated me.
I thought it was
It's
good.
I
thought it was good.
It's not bad. It's like it just sounds so muddy. Like it just it doesn't it almost sounds like it's a fake harmony instead of actually having people sing it. It's like a harmonizer, but back then.
I don't know.
I don't even know if that existed back then.
Oh yeah, it did. But I think it's a weird interval. I think it's a weird harmony. It's not like a standard, like a fifth or something like that, which makes it sound kind of strange.
Yeah. But what can I say? 3 for 3, great guitar riff, and the music in general, and this is good. But the guitar riff is just spectacular. Super catchy chorus, ripping solo. I love the bass line in this song. It's super buried in the mix, but sometimes it shows up and you hear it, and you hear these great little runs that Jeff's doing. It just shines. Weirdly, though, I always thought the drums were bigger in this song. And it's gonna just disappoint me over and over. Where I just remember Mick Brown, wild Mick Brown, playing these crazy drums, and the more I listen, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. He doesn't play one interesting fill on the entire fucking album. Even when he goes just for the snare, it's just it's like there's just nothing there. I was searching for it. There's nothing there.
It's like Fred Curry from Cinderella.
It's 10 times worse than that. It's a desert.
No fills, just a beat.
Oh God. And the fills, but there's a fill at the end, I think in the last song, that actually made me angry towards the end. It was just like, I was like, fuck you, Mick Brown. Fuck you. Fucking Fee, talk about it. Did you notice these drums sucked? Did you notice these drums were ridiculously simple?
I can say this. I thought everything was kind of simple, but I didn't necessarily think that was a bad thing. And I don't know if that's what you're saying, Dave, like the standard 80s drum beat, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's just laying it down. He's not going crazy with.
But let me give you an example. Like, for instance, Way Cool Jr. by Rat. Okay. If you just put a standard that song is not going to work. Like, it's not going to work. But you could do it, so it would make the song not as good. And that's what I'm saying. It's fine, but this album could be way better.
I suppose it could be, and maybe that's why I haven't listened to the album in 20 years. You know what I mean? I don't know. I couldn't say. Either way, I hear these guys on Hair Nation or whatever, and I'm like, holy shit, I love that song. Holy shit, I love every single thing they play on the radio. And wonder why I don't listen to them more. But yeah, 3 for 3, like you guys were saying. Everything's super catchy choruses, killer fucking guitars. Don Dokken's vocals are simple, almost too clean, I think. I don't know. But they're good. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good singer. He's not a great 80s hair metal singer, but he's a good singer. I don't know. I like it. I love this song. And Ed, I really thought you'd like that harmony in the opening. I really thought that would be a big thing for you.
Me too.
No, I love the idea of it. I just don't like the execution.
Gotcha.
Fee, I'm with you 100% though on this. Like, I could, anytime one of these songs goes on, I'm all in. But I don't search it out. I don't know why. I don't know why. And how am I going to score this? I have 9 I love yous. How can I was just telling my wife, I go, how do I fucking score this? I should score it like Rat, but I can't.
Fair enough.
Okay. Track number 4, Slipping Away. So this song is, in my opinion, the only filler song on the entire album. They should have left this song off the record, in my opinion. Ed is shaking his head. Okay, but here it is. So for me, this song feels slightly, now listen to the word I'm using, slightly unfinished lyrically, not musically, lyrically. and specifically in the chorus. So this chorus had a ton of potential. The whole song had a ton of potential, but they just needed more words in the chorus. They just kept going back to slipping away too much. And it wasn't up to par with the rest of the choruses. The idea is definitely there. It just needed a little more love. We get some more inspired bass here from Jeff Pilson. I really enjoyed this bass track a lot. We get some really, really great guitar riffs with great tone. Dave, did you notice on this one song, George Lynch actually played some like scaled back rock guitar, like some really great chords, those chords I always talk about. And he slipped them in under the radar and I caught it and I loved it. I like the tune a lot. It's the only one I don't love on the record, but I like it a lot. Dave, talk about it.
Uh-oh, here's the ballad. Nice bass work from Jeff Pilson. He seems like an
Yes.
underrated bass player and backup vocalist, but he has worked steadily since Dokken's heyday. I believe he was in the onstage and the recorded soundtrack band for the movie Rockstar.
He was.
Okay. And he plays in Foreigner now, if I remember correctly.
He was the
Yeah, for a
on-screen
long
bass
time.
player. He was
Yeah.
the on-screen bass player of Steel Dragon in Rockstar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, he's keeping busy. I think the song is kind of cheesy and cookie cutter. Guitar solo was okay, loaded with echo. Vocal is fine. Song is just not really good or catchy.
Yeah, agree. Ed, tell us why we fucking love this song.
I disagree to some point. I think the intro is really beautiful. I think it's a nice change of pace after hearing these first three songs. I think the vocals, the guitar, and the bass completely complement each other in this standard power ballad. What really was my favorite part of the song, all the overdub background tracks, the clean guitar that George Lynch plays. I'm
So
like,
good.
these tracks are amazing. Some of the licks he's doing in there are just like, what? Who would think that shit? And you know what? I love the big, powerful ahs, and then the vocal line "Save Me." Those harmonies I like. I don't know. I know it's not much different than the previous song "In My Dreams," but for some reason it worked better here for me. I like the song, and honestly, George Lynch he's not very. I guess he doesn't have a wide range, and you kind of, when you hear George Lynch, you just kind of hear this one thing. But I saw Lynch Mob. God, I can't even remember when I saw Lynch Mob live. It was a small little club, and Jesus Christ, can George Lynch play?
Yeah, he 100% feels like a one-trick pony, but I know he's not. Like I saw him sit down with, I believe, Steve Vai on some like show as they were a little older, just sitting back with guitars playing. And fucking, George Lynch has got some dimensions to his playing, but I mean, I think we've really only heard the one trick on a lot of his albums. Steve Vai, on the other hand, I mean, not Steve Vai, Steve Stevens from Billy Idol. Now that guy, you don't know how good he is. You think he's one thing, he's something completely different. This guy's a beast on guitar. Pete, talk about it.
Nice. That's good to know. I don't see anything wrong with this song. I like it. I remember liking it as a kid. It's super fucking cheesy, mushy, sappy, whatever. But I didn't hate it, and I tend to hate those songs now. Like the power ballad comes on, and I want to punch my fucking radio in every time. I didn't want to do that with this. I liked it, singing along with it a little bit. It was good. I enjoyed it. It's not a 100-watt song, 100-watt power ballad by any stretch, but it was good. I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that I liked it for all the same reasons you liked it for, and it's some of my favorite work by George Lynch on the album. My only point was I just thought that the chorus felt a little unfinished.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you.
Track number 5, Lightning Strikes, but I did like the different flavor it brought to the album for sure. So Lightning Strikes, this song is killer. Here's where we get the that little backing vocal trick that I was talking about earlier during the verse. It's so funny because I never realized it until I listened to it for the podcast that deeper and you feel the change is coming. I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. Mick and Jeff Pilson, they pick up the rhythm section a little bit here. It's got a little bit of energy coming from Mick, but it's still just blah. And even though George Lynch murders the whammy bar obsessively on this album, and is using an obscene amount of effects, I love the whole vibe he brings to it. He definitely has a style and a sound I can pick out in 2 seconds. And I also had to put myself back to the time this came out. I mean, right now, sure, it sounds fucking a little goofy from a production standpoint because nobody wants this sound anymore. But back then, it was, again, he was breaking ground. He was having fun, and I'm having fun revisiting it. Yeah, so there you go. I love the song. It's fucking great. Dave, what do you got?
Fuck yeah, here we go. Killer riff. I also made a note about the cheesy low octave doubling of some of the verse vocals. I always liked it. I even noticed that when, back in the day, they could have made that a little more subtle. They could have mixed that a little more into the pocket and it wouldn't have been quite as over the top. But I'm playing air guitar over here right now, so they're doing something right on this song. Awesome guitar solo, but at the end they go off the rails with the screams and the gang vocals. The cheese just went right off the meter.
Yeah.
Oof.
Fucking Dave, at the end when Don Dokken starts screaming, lightning, right? He goes for like 3 or 4 of them that are already out of his range. And then somebody in the studio goes, Don, you can go one higher. And he tries, and it's awful. You know what it reminded me of? When Bon Jovi was doing Runaway, when he does that one spot and he's not even singing the words anymore. He's just
Totally.
But like Dave said, that producer feathered it in perfectly. So you just subliminally are hearing Bon Jovi hitting these notes, but you're not hearing it enough to say that's horrible. It's perfect. This, they're like, turn Don up to 11, then have him hit that note. It was awful. Ed, go ahead.
Wow. This song feels very dated to me, as if they wrote it years before this album. There are some great vocal harmonies, and I like the bass line throughout the song. But this song reminds me of a Motley Crue song, only significantly better playing and singing.
Right. I'm not drums, though.
No, not drums, no. Unfortunately, I feel this song is a total filler and it's just super cheesy.
Yeah. And the whole album has a very stiff feel to it for me.
Yes.
A very stiff feel. Very robotic. Yeah. Fee, what do you got?
Yeah, this one, I mean, I like the song. It's not great, but I really like it. But I'm kind of with you guys on this. This one felt like a leftover from one of the earlier albums for me, for sure. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Not a lot of information on it. But and I'm glad you guys talked about that like deep or low, whatever backing vocal part there. I thought that was kind of funny, and I wasn't sure which way you were gonna go. Either that's really fucking cool or that's really fucking gay. So I don't know. So, but I thought it was all right. It fits the song, it's different for the time. For, what was this, 1985? So a little bit different for the time.
Sure.
Yeah, good tune.
Yeah, it needed rockers like this, though. It needed energy, the album, and that's why I'm glad they put it on there. All right, so this is where we flip the show over. We're going to slap it in the ass and go to the B-side. Guys, do you have anything you want to bring to the table? Dave?
I do not. I got Poison Sumac on my knee.
Guys, don't let that shit spread to your balls. Don't scratch it. Don't scratch it. How about your little case there? Is there anything in there, or is it still empty?
It is still empty. We're still waiting for the renovation.
Okay. You should probably go ahead and fill that up. Okay. Ed, anything you'd like to discuss? You're leaving for Los Angeles tomorrow, correct?
I am. And we celebrated my mother's birthday tonight.
Oh, nice.
And my family, there is no subject off the table. So the majority of the discussion was about balls.
Okay.
Awesome.
We
like to
literally
elaborate?
talked about balls all night.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
So it started with my brother lives up in Vermont, and his son was playing t-ball, and you know when there's like a lot of ambient noise, and then all of a sudden it's dead silent, and that one thing happens. Well, this is what happened. Everyone's talking, then it gets dead quiet, and all you hear from the dugout is "Stop hitting me in the balls." So, which then led to just how often just guys do stupid shit like that. I literally have two friends that had what we called a ball off,
Oh God.
where one guy said, "My balls hang way lower than yours." He said, "No way." They both pulled them out. They both were able to rest a full 12-ounce beer on their balls.
Oh God.
But ultimately, my friend's grandmother judged the contest and picked the
Oh
winner.
no. Oh no. Oh God. I'm almost afraid I asked. Oh. Fee, has anything happened to you that you'd like to discuss?
Nah, not too much. I won a little bit of money at my favorite local bar
Ooh.
last week.
It's a little bit of
that
money.
was pretty cool. Yeah.
What's a little bit of money?
I was playing some Keno and I hit a 7 spot for 1750, and
1,700.
yeah, and then
That's some
while I was
quiche.
playing some video poker afterwards, I hit a 4 of a kind for another 1,600. It was a pretty good day.
You're shitting me. You won fucking
No.
$3,000 at the local bar?
Yep.
God bless Las Vegas. I was gonna
Drank
say I
some
went
good-
down to
some good
Plainridge
whiskey.
Casino with my wife the other day and won $100 on fucking Planet Moolah. I thought it was fucking Thurston Howell III.
Walk away.
Shit.
Yeah. Win anything. Walk away.
Wow, good for you.
Thurston Howell.
Oh, lovey. All right. So I'm going to tell my quick little story. This will be fun. I'll keep it brief. So back in the mid 90s, I got an opportunity to play with a band in Fort Lauderdale called the Gutter Dolls. I signed a contract from a management company out in New York City called Durham Management, and they handled bands, and they handled this in particular band. And so they sent me a contract to Boston. I signed it and sent it back. And they sent me a plane ticket out to Fort Lauderdale. So I flew out there. They were going to give me all the gear I needed to do this gig. And I was picked up at the airport, taken back to a beautiful house in this gated community in Fort Lauderdale where doctors and people lived. And then this complete fucking insane hair metal band who had this house that was paid for by the management company. We had a van and a jam spot and everything. So after about 2 months, I turned these guys into drug addicts and alcoholics, and we lost the deal, and we were kicked out of the house. And so I ended up taking the singer and the other guitar player back to Boston, and we started a new band here called Purple Susan, and I lived with those two guys. So one night, our other guitar player and the singer Ashley, his kid was a tough kid. I mean, he was in great shape, and he could handle himself. They went to Axis in Boston, and while in the bathroom, they saw Jay, who had written the email in the beginning, and his buddy in the bathroom, and words started being thrown back and forth. And my singer of the band made the mistake of pushing Jay and not punching Jay. And as he put both hands on Jay, Jay threw 2 shots, boom, boom, hit him once in each eye perfectly. The dude came back to my apartment that night, and he literally looked like Rocky Balboa after the fucking Apollo Creed fight. Like, dude, his eyes were fucking swollen, shut, and purple. I was like, dude. So,
I'm amazing. I'm amazed they could fit 4 people in the bathroom at Axis.
So fucking Jay lit him up, man. Jay is a fucking ninja. Don't fuck with him. Dave, do you know who Jay is?
I do not.
You've never heard of Flash Addict?
Huh?
You never heard Flash Addict?
I've heard of them.
Okay, so you've heard of Flash Addict. You just never actually checked it out. A little before your time. You're younger than us, right? What are you, like 45?
Sure. 29.
Nicely played, sir. Nicely played.
Ding ding winner.
Yeah, so that's it.
I wasn't up in Boston until the early 90s. I came to Boston in 92. So it was like after most of the stuff was over.
Well, check out the Ben Graves was their drummer.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Well, for a while. They also had a guy named Sammy who was really cool too. This dude reminded me of fucking of Razzle from Hanoi Rocks. Like the guy was just fucking cool as shit. Yeah, so yeah, go to YouTube, check it out. Into the Smoke. I think you'll enjoy it if you like heavy metal. Okay,
Alright.
track number 6. It's Not Love. Lot of love on this album. A lot of songs written about the old relationship you, and it's starting to get a little vanilla for me, but that's okay. Because I absolutely love this intro guitar riff. It was so easy to learn. I was so excited. I had my Dokken album. I had my BC Rich Warlock, and I was picking it with my two picks. I'm like, I am George Lynch. That's as far as I got with the song, though. But there you go. Again, great lyrics, great vocals, killer chorus on this one. And again, I remembered every single word. I thought Jeff Pilson was definitely picking up speed by this time, but Mick Brown still extremely stiff, one-dimensional. George Lynch has a ton going on here. Ton of guitar tracks on this fucking one. And I loved it. I was sitting with my headphones on, just trying to pick out what George Lynch was doing, and I was having fun doing it. Dave, what do you got?
This was the third single from the album, released in June of 1986. Starts with the chorused up guitar riff, band kicks in, and the guitar licks over the band are panning left and right. This is another good one. Big beer commercial gang vocals and a little harmony guitar to start the solo. Good licks in between. And we also get that infamous phone call breakdown after the guitar solo.
I hated that. Nobody wants Don Dokken. No.
It was cheesy, but I liked it.
God.
They did cut that part out of the music video, though. I was watching the video before, and they're driving around on a flatbed truck around town playing the song.
Yep. George Lynch is doing splits while he's playing his guitar solos. Like,
Yeah.
that was a signature move. I didn't like it. I thought that move was a little goofy. His legs lock out. Oh, shit. Hey, Ed, whatever happened? Did you know that guy, Norman?
Oh, yeah.
You knew Norman?
I worked for Norman.
Dude, is Norman still fucking, like, completely insane? I had my bachelor party. I had my first bachelor party at his house. Were you there, Ed, at the bachelor party?
Yes.
Where I licked
with the thing, yeah.
I licked the whore's vagina through the cellophane, and the fucking big bouncer guy was like, "Oh, you can't do that."
Yeah, and you had the dildo stuck to your
I
head.
had the dildo stuck to my head, and she fucking fully penetrated it, but I couldn't lick through the cellophane. I didn't know the rules.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen Norman in 25 years.
He was a maniac.
He was a big dude.
He was. He always used to say to my wife, "Hey, all right, let's just keep going. Go ahead, Ed."
So it's funny, Dave, that you mentioned the music video, because I actually put in here about the music video. I don't know if you guys have ever got to play on the flatbed of a 18-wheeler while it's driving around. It is so much fun.
Never
it
done
really
that.
is. Right? Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
I've never done it. Dave, you played on a flatbed trailer as well?
I did. New York City.
Oh, okay.
Twice.
Hang on. Pump the brakes. I would like you both to just give us the context of how this happens, because this is unusual. Ed, go ahead. Why were you playing on a flatbed truck?
We would do the Plymouth parade, the 4th of July parade.
Okay. And Dave, why were you on a flatbed truck? And please tell us where.
Greenwich Village Halloween parade in 2 years in a row. First year was an actual flatbed. We had to build the stage onto the bed of the flatbed. But the second year we had an actual parade float.
Ed, I'm sorry I destroyed your story. I mean, you're in Plymouth. He's in Greenwich Village. I'm gonna.
I would kill to be in Greenwich Village playing.
Give Dave the nod on this one.
Absolutely, I give Dave the nod on that.
Okay.
It's pretty sweet.
Go ahead.
But it's super fun if you ever get the chance to do it. But this is a song, It's Not Love, that made me really just sold me on Dokken. I love this song. I think it's really well written. I think there's lots of dynamic and emotion in it. The guitar and bass are fantastic throughout. a simple chorus, but God, is it super catchy. Nothing more needs to be said about George's solos.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Your story's very cool. Your story's very cool. If Dave hadn't told his story, I would have been like, holy shit. You played on a fucking flat, played in fucking Plymouth. That's amazing.
Yeah, did it 2 years, I think. 2 years in a row. Yeah, 2 4th of July.
That was what, Blind Spot?
No, that was Too Loud.
Oh, what, Too Loud is another cover band?
Yeah.
Okay. Fee, what do you got?
So, I'll add, like, so Des, you already said the phone call sucks. Dave, you said you liked it. Ed, what's your take?
Yeah, Ed.
It didn't bother me, but I also was like,
Wait.
it's one of those, if it's there, hopefully I'll not hear it.
But that shit always bothers you. Like, we've heard way more classic versions of the talk where you've ripped it apart.
Oh,
And
absolutely. But
now,
it's I think just because I focus more on the guitar part during that when he's talking, because that riff is just so good.
yeah. He didn't even believe it, though. I've got to have you. He's like, no, you can't have
You
me.
know, oh,
It's like, shut up.
It's cheesy as shit, but look at the album so far. I mean,
I felt like he was talking
very
to his mom.
sappy in 1985.
Donald,
super cheesy.
Donald,
Pump it
get
in my
home.
veins.
No,
Yeah.
Mom,
Pump
you
it
can't
in my
make me come
veins.
home. Yeah.
I loved every second of it. I don't care. I figured, Ed, I knew you would fucking hate it. Dave, I thought you would hate it too. And Des, I thought you would love it. I was like, Des loves the phone call. Des loves the phone call. That's
Well,
how
I
I'm going.
do
Yeah.
usually, but I just don't buy Don Dokken as like the sex man. Like, you gotta have this cock right here. You
He's
know
the
it.
antithesis of that. Oh my God. Always has it.
No.
Do you
Dad.
guys have time for a quick story?
Yeah, go ahead. All right.
If you don't, I saw
I do.
Dokken and Rat. It was supposed to be Dokken, Rat, and Warrant, and they had this place like a smaller version of Great Woods out here in Henderson. And fucking the tickets ended up being free. We go to Will Call to pick them up. And they're like, "Oh, we refunded your tickets because Warrant had to cancel." Like, so Rat and Dokken are still playing? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Free show. So we get in there, and it's like Spinal Tap in Cleveland, like, hello Cleveland, and there's like 45 people there, you know.
Oh shit.
So we just flood down to the front, and Dokken comes on first, and Don Dokken just stands there. He's humongous now. He's just a big old blob, hand in pocket, mic in the other hand, singing clean. He's still got it, and he's just like, you guys don't want to hear any of the sappy shit, just the metal. So let's fucking rock. And he didn't move all night, and he just sat there with a hand in pocket and just fucking sang. Well, subsequently at that show, I was teaching middle school at the time, and it was my turn to get the beers. And I go out and I have 6 beers, 3 in each hand, and I walk around the corner, and there's one of my students, this kid named Anthony.
Oh no.
And I just look at him, I'm like, hey Anthony. He goes, what's up, Mr. Richardson? I'm like, fuck, I gotta go into work on Monday and see this motherfucker carrying 6 fucking beers, you know?
I saw Mr. Richardson triple fisted.
And I get to school on Monday, and he's like, how'd you like that concert on Saturday? I'm like, it was amazing. You? He's like, oh, it was great. I love those guys. My dad loves that music. He takes me to all the shows. I'm like, that's it? That's all you got? You don't want to talk about anything else? Nope. Awesome show. I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God. I thought this kid was going to crush me for carrying around all these beers. And he didn't say a single word about it the rest of the entire school year. It was, oh, thank God. Thank God.
Oh shit.
I could have been owned by that kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good stuff,
okay.
though. Yeah.
Dave, have you ever seen Dokken live?
I have not.
Ed, have you ever seen Dokken live?
Nope.
I saw Dokken one time at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. It was Dokken, I believe, Faster Pussycat, and Motley Crue, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the show. And it was funny because it snowed that night in Oakland. And the people I was with were all from San Francisco. And they're like, holy shit, it's fucking snowing. It was literally like this microscopic little bit of, I'm like, that's not snow. Like, that's not snow. But whatever.
That doesn't count.
It doesn't count, but they were all excited.
It's like a beanbag chair just exploded.
Yeah, it was like somebody dropped a Slurpee. It was like nothing. Okay, let's continue on. Did you tell us if you like the song, Fee. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh yeah,
after the-
playlist,
Okay.
total
Okay.
playlist.
Total playlist. Okay. Number 7, Jaded Heart. I like the song, great vocal. So this one's got the catchy bridge that goes into a super catchy chorus. Always my favorite. When a band can pull this off, no can defend against the fucking tune. Bass is buried in the mix again. I wish I could hear it more. And the standard tom fills from left to right. So this time they're gonna fucking pan this shit and try and move it around, which just fucking magnifies it that much more. Just don't. Don't do this. This is not the snare fill on Wild Side. This is not something you want to push up front and fucking and make me pay attention to. I hated it, but overall I love the tune. Dave, what do you got?
Well, we're back to mellow Dokken. The band is trying to make the quiet part more interesting with some tasty bass and a little guitar spice here and there. It does get better when it kicks in with the heavier part. The chorus is almost okay, but sounds kind of generic, like it should be from Foreigner or Survivor or something like that. Tuneful guitar solo, I thought it was a little uninspired, and the ending was kind of sloppy.
Nice. Ed, what do you got?
Oh, the guitar sound to open the song. Great guitar sound to open the song with a simple bass slide, descending slide. The real gem is the little guitar swells that are played behind everything during the opening. They really make it because it's just another ballad. I like this song, but I always get a creepy feeling when Don Dokken sings ballads. Like you said, Des, he cannot pull off that heartthrob.
No.
Hey, babe, how you doing?
Oh, it's like your dad.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of creepy. That said, I think it's a really good song, and I like the arrangement. And finally, I could hear Mick Brown do kind of a fill.
So bad though. It was the standard left to right on the toms.
Yeah. Oh,
down
yeah.
in sequential order.
Yep.
Good garbage. Absolute garbage. Fee, what do you got?
It's funny. I love it when you guys bag on someone for like not being good. I think it's great.
Yeah, you suck. You suck.
I hated this song when I first listened, the first time through on this, but as the, couple weeks went on, it grew on me more and more. And the more I was thinking is like, Des, like you say a lot, like these catchy choruses throughout this album were just fucking killer, and this being one of them. But yeah, I'll admit I hated it at first, but it grew on me a lot more. I like it now, not quite playlist, but I do like it.
Yeah, the bridge was almost as good as the chorus, man. It was really good. When you can string those two parts together and have them both. Okay. Okay. So in track number 8, Don't Lie to Me. So this was the point in the album where I had to ask myself, is this as good as I think it is, or is it just so ultra familiar because I listened to it 10,000 times that my brain is tricking me into thinking these are amazing choruses? I'm not sure. I still am not sure if it's as good as I think it is, but whatever. Song, again, this one, 2 in a row now. Killer bridge, almost as good as the chorus. So you're getting that bridge into the chorus combination, which I always say is fucking killer. And then the section right before George Lynch's solo. Oh my God. Don't say you love me. Don't tell me you care. Don't want to hear it no more. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And then it busts into that killer melodic solo. It's one of my favorite spots on the whole album and one of my favorite Dokken moments. Dave, what do you got?
Well, we got a wall of guitars here. This one sounds to me like a rewrite of In My Dreams, but not as good.
Right.
I didn't think the chorus was catchy.
Oh, no.
There are some nice harmony guitars chiming in here and there. I didn't like the bridge either.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry. The guitar solo definitely even copies at least one lick from the other song. The fade out seems to end abruptly. This one's going to be a no for me, dog.
Oh, I fucking love this song. Ed, what do you got?
Oh, God. I am not a fan of the opening to this song. It feels quirky and so much less than all the previous songs. the song sounds like they wrote it for someone else.
Oh God.
It's just not the same identity as all the previous songs. And it's too different, I think. It seems like it's a filler that they said, oh crap, we need one more song. Here, throw this in, even though it just doesn't fit.
Oh, I couldn't disagree more. This is so dark, and this thing's a hit. Fucking, this is a hit. This is a hit.
No,
I love this song. Fee, judge and jury, what do you got?
This is not a hit.
Oh no.
No. I mean, it's okay. You know, like I don't dislike it. I never skipped it. I never, you know, but I also never, it was kind of like the last song. I started off really fucking hating it, and it grew on me a little bit more, but not as much as the previous track. Honestly, they front loaded the hits on this album like they do on a lot of albums we've been doing lately. And it kind of devolves a little bit towards the end for me.
I thought these last two songs were some of the best. I'll tell you what, these last two songs had the best two bridges on the entire album. No doubt about it.
Fair enough.
Okay, here we go. I think that this is a case of this song was tattooed in my brain from over listening to it back in 1985, and it feels so good. Track number 9, Will the Sun Rise? So on this one, really, I thought the charm of the song was all of George Lynch's noodling. They were just like, turn the mic on, George, play through the song, go noodle to your heart's content. And I enjoyed it. I thought this song, you're going to think this is weird. I thought this song had a little bit of a Duran Duran feel to it. If you listen to it again, you will hear it now. If you listen to it thinking Duran Duran, it's an okay song with a really good chorus. I love it for the chorus alone. The rest of it, but the chorus is really good. Dave.
Yeah, this had to be intended for a movie soundtrack. Maybe like Red Dawn or American Ninja or some shit that. Yeah. First verse is talking about liberty and glory.
I hated it.
And then they seem to drop that theme entirely.
Completely.
In the rest of the lyrics. Guitar solo is a little wanky. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was a good song.
Dude, I so noticed that. It started off on the political kick, and then it completely abandoned it and went into the great chorus. That's what I'm saying. I love the chorus. I hate the fucking rest of it. Ed, what do you got?
What the hell is this? Terrible opening lyric in uneventful music. This sounds like they pulled the song out of a recycling bin behind some shitty restaurant. I am just not a fan of this song. It is bad.
Oh my God.
You guys are talking me down a little bit. I'm almost feeling like this album might be a little gay, and maybe fucking I should just back off it a little bit. Fee, go ahead. Talk about it.
I think the song's just okay, like middle, like a 50-watt song for me, you know, but my only note was I bet everyone else loves this, because I thought it was a little bit different for the album, and I thought it was, I don't know, I thought musically it was pretty good, but I thought you guys would have liked it, but I guess not.
Well, like I said, I like the Duran Duran feel, and I thought the chorus was good, but like Dave said, I thought those lyrics in the verses just were dumb.
Yeah.
All right, track number 10, the end of the album, Till the Living End. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Mick Brown was fucking struggling. You know what it sounded like to me? Like somebody drowning on the side of a boat, like kicking and flailing and doing everything they can to stay above water, but they can't swim. Like this is like red hot if fucking Tommy Lee's like double bass pedal was broken and he'd still do better. Like this is not good. He's trying to play this fast double bass drum beat, but it's so simple that the loop he's trying to complete is like incomplete. So it's stuttering. It just doesn't fucking work. Again, great chorus. It's a long guitar solo. I felt like this is where he was going to like show us what he had. And it wasn't as ripping as I would have liked it to have been for as long as it was. And the reverb that they put on this guitar solo, it was criminal. It was criminal. And the reverb they put on the entire track is criminal. This is rookie, but it's still a decent track. Dave, go ahead.
Well, at least this one's rocking. Standard Dokken riff. We get some double bass drum, good guitar work. Lyrics are kind of bad. They're repeating the title over and over again. I liked the guitar solo. I thought it was great. Just over the drum beat at the beginning, and George Lynch just showing off some Van Halen style licks. And then he gets the second half of the solo with the whole band comes in. He really kind of stays a little bit out of his regular George Lynch shit, and he's doing Van Halen here.
Yes, he is.
If you really listen to what he's playing Eddie licks. But I don't know, that it might be left over from the old days, the late 70s, when they were playing the same clubs as Van Halen.
Dave, we know what's weird about it though? He's also trying to get Eddie Van Halen's sound here. He's changed his sound for this song, and they overboarded that fucking reverb. It didn't work.
Yeah, but it little bit spotlighting on the drums. Wild Mick Brown is playing throughout the album. I thought it was solid, not too flashy, but we could have definitely done with some a little more flash. But
do you know what I think he was trying to rip off specifically here was Little Dreamer, right? Like that's kind of what he was going for. I felt like,
yeah, maybe.
With the gigantic reverb, and he just was doing it with zero class, and it just sounded stupid.
Yeah. Song ends with a rock scream, and then the annoying noise of a bad guitar cable. Not a great ending.
Oh shit. Okay,
Oof.
Ed, what do you got?
Dude,
Uh-oh.
My score is falling.
This is another song that sounds like an early Motley Crue song, but it's so much worse. At least the other one that sounded like Motley Crue was a better version of Motley Crue. This is like you might as well just kill Motley Crue, throw the instruments on their dead bodies, and here's the song. I mean, this song is bad. It brings back all the bad moments of this time period. It literally sounds like a garage band trying to show off. This song bothered me so much.
Oh God!
Total garbage.
Pete, what do you got?
Let's put the nail in this coffin.
Let's do it.
I don't know. It's just, I mean, just okay. Like I don't hate it. I'm not like, at Ed level on this, but definitely, spoiler alert, worst track on the album right here. Like this was not one that I will ever go out of my way to play again for sure.
Oh man, you guys really talk some sense to me, man. You talked me off the ledge. I was ready to jump and be like, yeah, Dokken, yay, Dokken, 92. Holy shit. Thank God, man. There's no coming back from that fall. Okay, we've done it. And now it is time to release
The bonus track.
This week's bonus track was requested by longtime listener Stephen Weldon. He writes, I would love to hear you guys review Crowbot Without Wings. So, guys, it was funny because sometimes I really like doing these bonus tracks when we get them from the listeners, because a lot of times I am unfamiliar with the artist or the song. And this would be one of those times. I had never heard of this band. I had never heard of this song. And I actually said to my wife, I go, I got to listen to the bonus track song. And I always said, have you ever heard of these guys? She said, no. I said, I always love this. Like with Joe Jackson last week, you never know what you're going to get, right? So I'm just going to tell you what I wrote down. I've never heard the band or the song. I put on my headphones and hit play. I fucking love the intro. And then the song kicked me in the face. It breaks into pure metal fire. It was hitting me with combinations from the left and from the right, killer vocals, blazing guitars, and a rhythm section that was brutally hot and technical while remaining pure rock and roll. I was blown away by this modern sounding metal jam. It was fucking great, man. And Steven, thank you for bringing this to my attention, because I had no idea this existed. And this singer is a true beast. That's what I got. Dave, what did you think of this? Oh, you want my Watt score?
Yes, please.
My Watt score would be 88.8. This is a fucking This is a fucking fire. Okay, this thing is a fire. Go check it out. Dave, go ahead.
Well, I thought it was a nice Hendrixy opening with the guitars. I didn't love the effect on the vocal. Rather hear it a little more straightforward. Song kicks in. Oh boy, these guys really like Sabbath, huh?
Mhm.
But at least they kept the vocal kind of normal. I was fully expecting the telephone EQ on the verse vocals, which thankfully they did not do. Heavy drums and bass. Guitar solo was kind of basic, but I will give them points for some harmony and creative use of what sounds like a whammy pedal without overdoing it. So that was nice. Riffing in the middle was a little simplistic but tight. Lyrics are pretty metal. Not too bad. It was pretty good sounding. Singer was good. The song was just okay for me. My score was 53.
Ooh, just a bit above average. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know.
Did you say 53, Dave?
Yes, 5-3.
It's hard to do. I don't know if is this a new band or an old band? I didn't look, but if this is a newer band doing like retro metal, like in that, that Iron Maiden screaming Sabbath, like early 80s, like true metal. I was impressed, man. I thought they fucking brought it. Ed, did you think they brought
Was
it?
there a guitar solo in this song?
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally don't remember it. I'm just like, okay, it just sounded like they just played this instrumental part where everyone played the same riff where the guitar solo should be.
Ripping drums.
Think
Ripping
that-
drums.
Solo was right before that, I think.
Okay. Interesting opening to this song. It's melodic, soft, and smooth. Then it kicks in, and wow, is it powerful. The music is rock solid and hypnotic. The guitars are pretty good. When the instrumental section kicks in and the players are all ripping that riff, I really liked it. But it reminded me more of like an early 2000s type band. This type of band is not my thing, but I'm going to definitely check out more of the music because I dug it. It definitely had like that poor man's Iron Maiden vibe.
Totally.
I totally agree. But I gave it a 68.4.
Do you think I should bring my score down a little bit? Fee, what do you got?
No,
I'm joking. Fee, go ahead.
no, I just like in my stream of consciousness when I was thinking about this, I'm like, Crowbot. Who the fuck is Crowbot? And I'm like,
Crowbot.
oh, did they do that stupid fucking Handlebar song like 25 years ago? And then I looked in, I was like, no, that was Flowbot. And I'm like, this is not Flowbot. So, which is a good thing because Flowbot's fucking terrible. But yeah, this is, good tune. A little bit on the heavier, darker side for the music that stylistically, for me. But overall, it was a good tune. I enjoyed it. 66 watts.
Oh, I went too high.
Yeah, did you guys get like kind of a Monster Magnet vibe off of this?
Oh, hell
a little
yeah.
bit?
Fucking,
Yeah.
Space
that was
Bad
it.
Mother,
Yeah.
Mother. That song. I think I prefer Monster Magnet a little bit because I love that space monster song with the video. It's so good. We got to do that. We got to bonus track that. All right, Dave, please calculate those scores.
All right, just give me a second here.
Or is it Ed that calculates the scores? I stuck another half a gummy. I've been eating fucking these caramels. Ed, you do the score. What's the score?
Oh, God.
It's like a 60 a show.
All right. Without Wings by the band Crowbot is pushing a solid 69.05.
69,
Nice.
dude. I think that's a good score for this.
Yeah.
And Dave, where's that landed on the breaking vinyl chart?
That puts us on the bonus track chart at number 19. Just under Vane with Who's Watching You, and over Wolf Mother's Woman.
Oh, I think that's perfect. It's just a little above another modern band. I think it is better than the Wolf song, and it is not as good as Vane. I mean,
There
it
you go.
probably is. It probably is
No,
better
it's
than
not.
Vane, honestly, but not. It's not, but it probably is. Okay, so that's it. We've done it. Let's see. My favorite song is "In My Dreams." Song I would cut, "Slipping Away." I would remove the shitty, stiff Mick Brown, and I would replace him with Bobby Blotzer because nobody would notice. Dave. Dave, what do you got?
Favorite track is In My Dreams, and I would
Mhm.
cut Don't Lie to Me.
Okay.
And if I had to replace one member of the band may have the singer's name on it, but George Lynch is the sound of Dokken. The bass player and the drummer are both pretty solid. That just leaves, well, back in the day, Don Dokken had a pretty good voice. However, now he does not. Have you guys heard him recently? He cannot sing anymore.
I have, and
Oof.
even his new single that he put out, which is so weird. Have you guys seen the video?
No.
God,
No.
no.
No, you haven't seen, dude. Do yourself a favor. When the show's over, go watch his new video. He's got a new song and a new video, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Of course it is. It's Don Dokken.
Yeah, with some weird guy, some weird old metal guy playing guitar. Like, oh god.
Wow.
Okay.
So I'm going to try somebody else on vocals who doesn't sing so well now because he's dead. But back
Oh,
in the
shit.
day,
Okay.
maybe he would have gelled with the other guys in the band better. Let's try out Kevin Dubrow from Quiet Riot.
Oh boy, with that
Nice.
hair. Oh, that guy was a visual mess, man. How do we worship this guy during Metal Health? Oof.
Oh, yeah.
He could have gotten a wig earlier.
Oh God. So Dave has kicked Don Dokken out of Dokken. Okay. Ed, go ahead. Perfect.
Oh, man, that's awesome. My favorite track is The Hunter. The track I would cut, Till the Living End. Fucking song is the worst thing I've fucking heard. Ugh. If I had to replace one member of the band, I would replace Mick Brown and replace him with Tommy Lee.
Nice. I think that works great. I think Tommy Lee is even too good for this band, though. Tommy Lee just. He was so far above all these fucking shit dicks back in the 80s. Tommy Lee could have played with like Dream Theater, you know? Holy shit.
No. No, definitely not.
Maybe not.
Okay, probably not. That was bad. Okay. Fee, go ahead. I'm going to put
That's
this
funny,
baby to
man.
bed.
My favorite track was, I mean, it could have been any of four, but I went with It's Not Love. Cut Till the Living End because, like Ed said, it's kind of a piece of shit. And I'm with Dave on this one. I'm replacing Don Dokken with someone that has a stronger, grittier vocal. Sebastian Bach. Let's do it.
There you go.
Stop it. Imagine Sebastian Bach singing these songs. Holy shit.
Fucking kill it.
Oh, God. I'm sure he would. He also can't sing anymore, though. So there you go. It's fucking
Oh,
embarrassing.
and by the way, that show I saw Dokken was like 2011, give or take a year, you know, on either side of that. So back then, he sounded all right to me. Yeah.
How the fuck do you get fat when you're like 7 feet tall? How does that happen? Fucking Christ, man.
Yeah.
Don Dokken's tall.
No, I'm talking about Sebastian Bach. He's
Oh, I know, yeah.
It's disgusting. All right.
TV made him soft.
Oh, it's gross. Let's do some final thoughts here. Okay. So I'm gonna go last because I don't want to fucking do something stupid here. Ed, Dave, go ahead. Final thoughts and score.
All right. I have heard there was always an issue between Don Dokken, who wanted to go in a more pop direction, and George Lynch, who wanted to be heavier metal. Once you think about that, you can really hear the difference between songs. Of course, their best songs met in the middle. The ones that were on one side or the other maybe didn't work as well. This problem really hurt this album. I thought half of it was good, half is kind of terrible, or at least entirely forgettable. But that half that is good is really good. So I got to go with a score of 68.
68. Ed, what do you got?
Yeah, so I enjoyed re-listening to this album again and just re-listening. What the hell? Listening to this album again.
Sure.
I think Desi's rubbing off on me.
Absolutely.
And I enjoyed the songs, but like I think Fee said it earlier, or someone did. They're not songs that I'm going to seek out to listen to. If they're on, I'm going to be like, oh, cool. But as great as I think they are when I hear them, they're not memorable or they don't make me feel like I have to hear it. But because I liked all the songs really except for the last three. I gave this album a 78.3.
78.3. Okay, and Fee, what do you got?
Wow. Yeah, I don't remember this album being as like mushy and soft as it was in parts, Like I always just remember Dokken as being fucking rock and roll, like just heavy stuff. And so I was a little disappointed on the re-listen with this one, but because I was with you, Des, I thought this was going to come in as like a 90 something for me when I first did a glance at the track list. I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. But overall, I like it. There's 4 or 5 tracks that I absolutely love on this, and for that reason, I'm going to give it a 78.
Okay. This album is filled with great hooks and fun guitar solos and solid vocals. The lyrics are fun and easy to digest, but unfortunately, Mick Brown sucks ass and holds the dynamics of this album back, in my opinion. So for me, this album is pushing. Bob, I would like to go 1 penny over the highest bid. I'm going to go 78.4 for the Showcase Showdown. Ed, please calculate those scores and tell us what this album is pushing.
Oh my God, that's priceless. All right, so Under Lock and Key by the band Dokken is pushing 75.67 watts.
And
I think it's right where it should be.
Dave, where does that put it on the Breaking Vinyl chart?
Yes, that comes in on the Breaking Vinyl chart at number 26. Just under Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell and just over Motley Crue's Theater of Pain.
I definitely would listen to this before I would listen to the Bat Out of Hell any day of the week. I'll never listen to that album again. But
nope.
I think that I would probably rather listen to Theater of Pain than this if given the choice.
Yep.
Fee, you agree?
100%.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So the system has failed us tonight. It's okay though. It's okay. Okay. Guys, I got next pick. I know that Fee and Ed are going on a camping trip together, just the two of them with sangria and 1 sleeping bag.
You know it, baby. You know it.
Sorry, I'm fucking high. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a pick. Here we go. So I waited and waited till I thought that our teeth were sharp enough to cut this album. I didn't want to prematurely do it when we weren't ready. So I am bringing the greatest collection of songs ever compiled on one album. The greatest album ever recorded, the greatest album of all times, Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. And I am going to bring to you the greatest insight, the best breakdown, the most decisive review of this album you have ever heard. I am going to work on it for the next 2 weeks. Don't miss it. Okay? That's what I got. And we are going to be breaking down The Breakfast Club on Hey, Did You Ever See That Movie? Our sister podcast. You're going to want to go over there and listen to that. I was John Bender in junior high and my 1 year of high school. So there you go. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. It's a late night tonight. Everybody did what they had to do to be here. I appreciate it. The listeners appreciate it. And until next time, take those records out of the sleeve and let the music breathe. See you later.
Adios.
Later.